All right, guys. Hey, this is Rob Cootie. It's currently 10:59 and 30 seconds. We go 11 live at 11. As you know, we stream live to our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Use hashtag the MLM Solution to find us, and we look forward to seeing you guys at 11 a.m. Please share our podcast with our fellow network marketers all across the world, and also use hashtag the MLM Solution to help us get the word out. With that, let's go live, guys.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
All right, Miss Marie, it is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is Friday, Freelance Friday.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Yeah, Freelance Friday. And it's October 2nd. We're almost through the month of October.
Oh, come on. We just got started. Don't go rushing through it.
I know it, but it feels like the way the months are flying by, I might as well say it now and get it over with.
Well, you know what? 2020 can't be over fast enough for some people. So if the months are flying by at this point, might be a good thing.
Man, I tell you. Well, with that being said, guys, this is Freelance Friday, episode number 21. We want to thank everybody for being a part of our family. Thank everybody for visiting our various platforms and our website. I am so grateful to all of you guys, and please continue to share our message with our fellow network marketers all across the world as we continue to expose all sides of network marketing. We had a good episode yesterday. Matter of fact, we've really been on a roll the last 3 weeks. Not that the previous weeks were not good, but like anything else, like fine wine, Miss Marie and I are aging very well together. And I say that with love and kindness, because the bottom line is anytime you put together a team, you're not sure how it's going to mesh. You're not sure how it's going to work out. And you don't know if you share the same philosophies and the same insights, because in the network marketing business model, like most things, there's different ways to do things. And when Miss Marie and I initially talked, I never imposed my viewpoints on her and said that had to be the case. We both agreed that we would be ourselves, and that's exactly what's taken place. So, with that being said, our hearts are in the right place, and that is we want to reach out. And that's what I love about her, is that we want to reach out as a team to help this industry. It needs our help. It needs someone to do what we're doing. And it sounds like a commercial here, but it's not. It's just every once in a while we got to revisit why we do what we're doing. And that's the reason why Miss Marie and I do this day in and day out, okay, because we understand the importance of it. And we know that eventually this will catch on across the world and become the show to come to. And Miss Marie and I have big plans for this. We have stuck to it. And Miss Marie, even though it's October 2nd, it has flown by. I look forward to it every day. And I'll be honest with you, it's not a burden. It's actually something I enjoy and look forward to doing every day. And we never run out of material to talk about, which is good as well. And what I like about what we're doing so far is we're not just pulling stuff out of our butt as a subject matter.
Nope, not yet. They're all quite relevant topics. And the interesting thing is, when we started this back the beginning of July, or at least when we started this together, you had been doing it prior to that. I was like, man, how many episodes are we going to be able to do? But it seems like each day as we're talking about the topic that's been selected, there's a couple things coming up, and I find myself jotting down a note. It's like, oh, that could be a good topic for an episode. Well, there's another good topic for an episode. Yeah. So, even though we've been in the industry for a long time, there's still so much to it. I don't think you necessarily understand all the different aspects of the industry, all the different facets that go along with building a business using the network marketing model. So it was a great reminder for me, and it's been a lot of fun. And I don't think we've been repetitive at all with the episodes. Now, obviously, there are things we talk about that we do repeat because they're essentials, they're fundamentals, and we want to make sure our folks are getting it. And each episode, we don't know if you've been with us for 5 minutes or 5 weeks. So we want to make sure we're defining things, we're explaining things, and just continuing to bring that value to you.
And there it is. What she said right there, folks. There's no sense in me repeating it, because that's exactly, I agree with what she said wholeheartedly. And Miss Maria, they're going to tie together. Because, as I said, you can't get away from the truth. I mean, the truth is what it is. And one subject is going to be tied into another. You can't talk about recruiting without talking about the scale of ambition, the music to the ears message. I mean, you can't. They're going to hear that same terminology, because that is what makes this business go. So when we talk about another part of recruiting, obviously, it's going to entail some of that subject matter. And I don't feel like we're repeating ourselves at all. I think we're tying together all the knots or the dots, if you will. That's what I meant to say. But the point is that you have a situation where I don't know. I mean, I wish I had this information available to me when I was building a business, where I could go and instantaneously access credible and how would you say?
Objective.
Well, it is objective, but it is factual, but it's proven. In other words, I could sink my teeth into it, and I don't have to look over my shoulder and saying, wow, am I really doing what needs to be done? Am I really taking the right steps? I don't have to do that. I can sink my teeth into it without turning around and second guessing myself and really run with it. Because I'm saying to myself, guess what? These guys are sharing the truth. It's obvious these are the things that need to be done. And I think that's powerful. I think that's absolutely amazing that you and I have the ability to bring this to the table for people. And I'm very proud to be a part of that process.
Now, as am I. So I, again, as always, grateful that you invited me to join you on this project, and I'm really looking forward to what we've got coming down the road. It's going to be super exciting, and some really high quality stuff that we're going to be bringing, in addition to continuing the podcast.
And you did get the document I sent to you, did you?
Yes,
not?
sir.
See, guys, we're actually working while we're working.
we're always working.
Isn't that the truth?
Well, you know what, Rob? It's really funny, because I had somebody ask me the other day, what do you do for fun? And I'm like, well, I like to hang out with friends. I like to go out to dinner, have a good meal, that type of thing. Yeah. But, work is fun. I mean, the stuff that we're doing is fun. I have other projects, other things that I'm doing on the side that people would look at and go, well, that's like work. How can that be fun? It's like, I don't know. I'm not normal. I mean, that's been a proven fact. So, that might be part of it, but it is a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Oh yeah, there is no doubt. And I'm right there with you. I could not agree more. The bottom line is, guys, is that her and I enjoy this. And I think you can hear it in our voices. I don't think we have to sell it. You can tell that, hey, these guys really mesh together. They have fun. We cut up, we laugh. I don't think there's been an episode where we haven't laughed or cut up in some way. And I think that's awesome. I love that. So with that being said, Miss Marie, we have a Freelance Friday, episode number 21. Hard to believe it's there already. And, I was thinking, I thought, well, what could we talk about today? And because of my limitations with my right hand, I can only get out so much material. And as you can tell, I was up late again. I think I sent that to you at 3:30 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And not that that's important, but the point is I have to go to bed sometime. And it took all of those 3 to 4 hours I was up to to get done that document and set everything up for today. And I was wore out. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm ready to go to bed. And the point is that when I got up, guess where my focus went? Was right here. And I thought, you know what? It would be great if we talked about our own, the good, bad, and the ugly. I don't think we've done that.
Okay.
And I can start the process of what my good, bad, and ugly in the industry was. And, when you share your personal story, I think not only is it entertaining to people because they get to know you better, but I also think that people get more out of it. They think, okay, I see what they went through. And you know what? It's obvious that they fought through it. And if they can do it, so can I. And I think there's some power in that instead of just talking in generalities and about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
All right. Well, you start. I'll follow your lead. I'll be interested to see where this goes. This could be a super entertaining episode.
Okay. Well, no, I didn't need that as a start off. But no. I think we've touched on some of the bad and the ugly for me, but I'll go through it again because I want to make sure that everybody understands. And I'm going to go into a little more detail about it. So that they can pull out what they need. I've always just kind of skimmed over things in regards to what has happened to me in my networking journey. And I'm not going to go through the whole history of my networking journey. That's not the purpose of this example. But as all of you know, I've been around the industry for a long time. And anytime you've been around something a long time, guess what? You're going to go through ups and downs. And I think you guys understand that. And I think the difference between me and other people, Miss Maria, is that I embraced the downside as much as I did the upside. Now, it wasn't fun. It wasn't like I was laughing and drinking a beer when I was doing it. But here's the thing. What I'm saying is that as I was going through these tough times, I always knew in the bottom of my heart, I would say to myself, you know what? Put this away. Remember this. Write this down. And I would put it on my computer and save it online or in my what do you call it? The mobile hard drives, you plug in USB drives. And I would keep the stuff for prosperity. And I said, well, someday I'll do something with that material. Well, here we are. But the point is that when I was going through those moments, it wasn't a lot of fun, despite the fact I was writing it down, because obviously when I was writing it down, it just brought up all that heartache again. And sometimes when I was the one that was at fault, it made it that much harder to swallow, right? As you're writing it down, it's like, oh man, this really sucks. It's like taking a baseball bat and hitting yourself upside the head. Sooner or later, you're going to be like, I think maybe I need to stop this. So with that being said, when I went into network marketing, it was through Amway. And as I told you guys, that was a great experience. I'm not going to go into the details. For me, that was the good. Not only did it help me or introduce me into the wonderful world of network marketing, but it also taught me about myself. I was part of the Worldwide Dream Builders organization, as I said, which was part of Bill Britt's organization, which was part of Dexter Yeager's. And so anyway, the thing is that there was great human training there. And what I mean by that is that there was a lot of great materials to help me grow as a person. And you got to realize I was in the military. It wasn't like the military didn't have training itself, Miss Murray. Obviously they did. I mean, that's how you become a leader, right? They just don't promote people and put them in positions. I mean, if you go up the rank in the military and you're not a people person and you can't lead people, they'll find you an admin job somewhere, okay, which is great, okay? At least the military is using those people in a positive manner. But not everybody's a leader of people, right?
Yep.
So the thing is that I was a hesitant leader. I really did. And the reason is, as I said before, which I won't go into, I did not want to leave my friends behind. Okay. And if I became a leader, there was an immediate difference between me and them. And I didn't want to do that. So anyway, Amway helped me not Amway, but Worldwide Dream Builders helped me grow as a person and as a leader. And that is probably one of the greatest experiences for me personally in the industry. And then the network marketing side of it, I saw how they sold the dream. That's what it was all about. People say, well, how do they get people into Amway when people know Amway is a bad thing? Well, Amway is not a bad thing. But the reason is that, Miss Marie, they did such a great job selling the dream. And then they showed you, and we talk about this all the time. And guys, here's another golden nugget moment. They showed their people in the audience how they could achieve that dream. They sold the dream of time freedom. They sold the dream of material things. They sold the dream of financial freedom. They sold the dream and the journey along the way. And then they showed you how to do it with the comp plan. They showed you how you made money. They showed you how you created volume. And they did a wonderful job, Miss Marie, and it was efficient. These presentations were efficient, but they tied everything together. And the reason people got excited, Miss Marie, is because they did such a great job in that presentation that people said, I can do that. They saw how simple it was on paper and how they could do this in their spare time to go towards those goals. So I learned that. I understood how the network marketing business model worked and understood how they were selling the dream. And then they showed you how to achieve that dream. And I was excited about that. And little did I know at that time, that would be the basis for the rest of my journey. So that was the good for me. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with the Amway company through the Worldwide Dream Builder organization. Now, why did I leave? Because the money had already been made. I caught the tail end of that growth. When I first started, I would say, Miss Maria, it took me about a year, 14 months to really get my feet under me. I was in the military, and I was moving because the bases were closing, so I had to go to different locations. But I really started to pick up steam and really started doing well. But the money was gone. And what I mean is, guys, it was Amway was when I joined it at the tail end of phase 2, Miss Marie, and then it was going into phase 3, meaning there wasn't a whole lot of wealth possibilities there. And if you're going to spend your time with a company, you want to make as much money as quickly as possible. Okay. And I understood that part of it. So the reason that I left the company Amway and the Worldwide Dream Builders wasn't anything they did. It was all the fact that I understood, hey, you know what? I want to make more money and I want to make it now. I don't want to wait. Okay. And so it's going to be another 3 or 4 years through the Amway business model to really make the type of money I wanted to make and have the lifestyle I wanted, right? So that just wasn't going to work. And I was an ambitious person. I knew that I was young. I had the focus. I had the energy. It's time to move on. You know, I really hate to do this. And I really didn't want to leave, but it was time. So I did. And then I immediately went into the bad. Okay. I got involved with a company, which on the surface looked great. It had a lot of technological products in it, which this was the turn of the century. And, you know, technology was really starting to take off. And this company, I thought, had insight into that. They really had some products that, quote unquote, people could use. It wasn't just toys, you know, electronic toys. This was technology. It was really leading edge technology, and meaning that this was, they were bringing mass market cell phones, satellite dishes, and all that, you know, small satellite dishes and other things. I could go on and on and on because there was all kinds of things going on. And this is still when long distance was deregulated, and this company was part of that. And I mean, I could go blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. And I said, okay, you know, it's totally different than skincare, the nutrition and all that Amway had. And at that time, I didn't understand the cornerstone products of the industry. And I saw where this was a growing trend. And you always want to be on the front end of a growing trend. And I met the owners. I met the top earners. They flew in, sat down with me in person. And I sat there very quietly. And, of course, I asked a lot of questions. And they never pressured me to join. And it was a binary. And I told them, I said, well, look, I'm going to take a look at this binary. I'm going to figure out how this thing works, how I need to make, what I need to do to make money. Because I didn't want to hear it from them. I wanted to look at it myself and make sure. Because what are they going to do? They're obviously going to promote what? The good side of the binary, right? Because they want me to join. And the products were self-evident. I didn't need any insight into the products. I was still a product person at that time, but I could see how I could get behind these products and how people had a need for a lot of these products, not all of them, but a lot of them. And I could get behind that, okay? And I could feel good about the fact I was servicing people with products that were coming their way anyway. We were just beating everybody else to the market through this company. So I was pretty excited about that. The comp plan was a binary. I knew a little bit, and I asked a lot of questions of some people that I knew and really still didn't fully understand. But I did well with that company, okay? And they ended up going out of business. And the reason is that the Attorney General for the state of North Dakota filed a lawsuit against them and to stop them from doing business in North Dakota because they were a scam. And that's, I mean, she did this on TV, okay, in North Dakota. So she laid out her reasoning. She laid out some of the evidence. And of course, that was devastating to our businesses in North Dakota. I did not understand that. I'm not going to go into the details of what she said. But the bottom line is that I understood what she was getting at, but I did not see where that was the case. Okay. What she brought up was, objective, but obviously she was the one that mattered. So once one attorney general does that to a company, other attorney generals start to take a look at that same company. Okay. And because they kind of know each other, they have conferences and they all get together at these conferences, and they all, it's just like going to a network marketing event. These guys kind of know each other. And so one will call the other one and say, hey, why did you do that? Blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, a number of states are looking at this company for the same reason. And that's when things started imploding. But it was still a surprise because the company was fighting this in the courts. It wasn't like the company was taking that lying down. The company felt that it was unfair just because one attorney general felt that way did not mean. But somebody in North Dakota filed a lawsuit. And Ms. Marie, you know how it is. If people make outrageous claims, if people show checks and they said, this is all you need to do, you know that if you have a wild card, and we've talked about this in our episodes, if you have a wild card and your downline is going out there spewing this stuff, that's the reason why companies have bylaws. It's the reason why they'll get rid of you very quickly, because you could put the whole company in jeopardy with your loose lips. And I'm not saying, I don't know who the person was. I'm not saying they were wrong. And I'm also not saying they were right. What I'm saying is I did not agree with all the evidence that this attorney general brought up, but it didn't matter. I had no power. But somebody had filed a lawsuit with, or complaint, whatever it is, with the attorney general of North Dakota. And that's how that all started. But at the last we heard, the company was moving along. Company was based out of Nashville. Company was doing well. They hired lawyers to fight this. They came out and had their own statements, of course. And so we continued on. So I built a really nice business. At one time, I had 23,000 people under me. And so you can imagine what the checks were like. And it's hard to build a binary. I found that out the hard way. I did not have success from the beginning because I did not understand the binary completely. And there was just enough money there, Miss Marie, because I was middle ground, despite the fact I had 23,000 people under me. I think it was 23,000. I know it was a large number. It's been so long ago. But the thing is that you learn how comp plans start to work when you see large numbers of distributors like that and you're getting checks. Now, I was getting nice checks, don't get me wrong, but you don't understand the comp plan fully. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And, so anyway, the point is that was a learning experience. And of course, as you know, I got the call because I had called my upline leader, who was not the same woman that we talked about with the contacts yesterday, but it was another one who was outstanding and loved her to death. I should have continued to work with her, but we went our separate ways. But she was super nice, very honest and ethical person, and we worked closely together. And so anyway, she's the one I contacted when my check did not come. I waited a few days. I didn't panic. I called her. We talked. I called her the next day. We talked again. She said, let me get back with you. Stay where you are. Let me get back with you. Let me call the company. And she got back with me about an hour or so, which was longer than anticipated. And I figured something was up. And sure enough, I got the bad news. And then they went live with the bad news about, I guess, 5 or 6 days later. Now, that was the bad. Okay. And I had another one. There was another one where Nu Skin started a new company called Big Planet. And that one took off like gangbusters. I did really well with that one. And it went out of, I won't say it went out of business. I think Big Planet is still around, but there was a number of things that went awry, and I won't get into that. With the financial backing and the reputation of Nu Skin, you would think that there was a technological division of Nu Skin. That's what it was. Tapping in once again to the technological growth of technology across the world. So that one floundered too for various reasons. I won't get into it. And that one had real promise. And there was one more, a company called Agile, and it also went out of business. So as you can see, you have 3 different companies there that bit me in the butt, despite the fact that as I went along, I got more knowledgeable, I got better, and everything else.
That's funny. I don't think I knew we were both part of Agile.
Yeah, there you go. What a small world, guys. What a small world. Yeah, I knew Greg and them personally, worked with hand in hand with Randy Schroeder, Randy Gage, and Eric Worre. We're at the genesis of Agile. And there's a number of people which one guy's name was Larry Lenateri or something like that. Lenateri, I can't remember. He was one of the first people into Agile. That was an example. 2 things happened. One, they went into the foreign markets too fast. They opened up the U.S. They had a great product, great delivery. It was safe. It was easy, unique. But here's the thing. It was too expensive. It was priced way too expensive. Everybody kept telling you got to get the price down. It's going to kill people. And then on top of that, I don't mean kill. It's the price. Financially, it's going to put people in a tough position to do that on a monthly basis, especially if you had a large family, right, Miss Marie? It was not cheap. And so it was way overpriced. Additionally, they went into the foreign market way too fast, which meant that they took their own growth out from underneath of them. And the reason they did that, because they didn't want somebody overseas. I understood. They did not want somebody to do a copycat product and do an overnight startup, network marketing startup overnight and flood the foreign market with this great product. Okay. And that's the reason why they went into the foreign. And, Greg and his brother had great network marketing experience. They both, one of them came from Nu Skin and was with Nu Skin for 13 years. And they were one of the big shots, if not the big shot, in their international expansion division. So they understood the international process. And for you guys that don't know, and I'm not going to continue, I'm bringing this to a close because you need to have a chance to tell your stories. But the thing is that, when you go into foreign countries, guys, with a new network marketing company, it's more about who you know. And what I mean is you have to know the right lawyers in Israel. You have to know the right lawyers in the UK. You have to know the right lawyers in Australia. Because these lawyers know the laws about bringing product in to those countries. And they know the laws regarding network marketing in that country. They know they have contacts. They have contacts that you could never get. Okay. They know what palms to grease, and that's part of business, whether you like it or not. And that's how you get things done. Money talks and bullshit walks. Okay. And yes, we all like to think that this is a wonderful world, which it is, and these things don't happen, but it does. And the lawyers, unfortunately, play dirty pool. A lot of them, not all of them. And part of playing dirty pool is knowing who to pay and when, okay, to get things done. Well, guess what? Greg, and I can't remember his brother's name, he knew those people. He knew how to take a network marketing company. He knew who to call. He knew who the what would you say, I guess the gatekeepers. He knew who the gatekeepers were to get product, network marketing product. Because guys, your product has to be approved. And Agile had a very unique product. And those ingredients, like when they went into Israel, they had to make them kosher. Did you know that?
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah. And so what that happened was when the company submitted the product to Israel, there had to be lab tests on it. And then the technicians in the lab would tell them, say, okay, you can't have the following ingredients. And so they had a whole different section of the warehouse that was product for Israel, just to let you know. Yep. So that's one example of how difficult it can be to get product into a foreign country. And that's just one example. And there were other ones, Miss Marie, believe it or not, that would not allow the ingredients in some of the products into their country. And so they all had to be changed at the manufacturing here, which was kind of strange because, as you know, all of it was nutritional based and most of it was plant based, and it was pretty cool. Anyway, that was the last one that I can remember that went out of business. And that's an example where I stayed too long. I totally believed in Agile. I figured that we could work around, because if you got people to make money, it didn't matter what the cost was. And it worked for a while. And I will say that one of the big shots, one of the guys that was on the ground floor, who had multiple thousands upon thousands, called me one day and we talked, and he said, Rob, you need to get out of there. I said, dude, I'm not going to do it. I said, sooner or later in life, you got to plant your flag and you got to say, I'm here for better or worse. And I said, you know what? I can't. If it goes under, it goes under. I said, I've been through it before. And the bottom line is you can't run in life. You can't just keep running. But I chose the wrong battle, Miss Marie. I should have done what he said. And I was looking at it differently. He wasn't looking at it as me running and giving up. He was looking at me as making a smart business decision before the hammer came down. And that's what he was trying to get me to understand. What I was doing is saying, okay, I've been through this before. And you know what? This company, the product is overpriced, but there's no signs. Miss Marie, there was no signs to say that Agile was going out of business. And it didn't while I was there, Miss Marie. It's out of business now. It stayed around for about another year. And Greg and his brother and them left, or they sold the company. I can't remember exactly what all unfolded. But the point is that it eventually went out. But I ended up leaving because the growth really slowed down. And when the growth slowed down and I realized there was no more markets to go into, they were already in Canada, Mexico, and in I think 60-something countries overseas. So there wasn't a whole lot of growth potential there. You know what I'm saying? Outside of new distributors. And with the price on the product the way it was, that was going to be hard. You could get new distributors, but to keep them, that was a totally different story. So it was a vicious cycle. And so that's my ugly side. Okay. Excuse me. So I gave you the good side. That is my experience with the Amway / Worldwide Dream Builders. I gave you my bad, which is I made some bad decisions. And I gave you the ugly, which 3 companies, Miss Marie, 3. Which puts me in a tough financial position because of my own stupid decisions.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to me how our careers ran a little bit parallel and even crossed at that Agile point, unbeknownst to us at the time.
I know. How weird is that?
I know. That's really funny. Well, it's kind of
your eyes light up when I say Agile. It's something small.
Well, it's interesting because there are so many network marketing companies out there. There's different opportunities, different products, all those types of things. But at the same time, kind of a small world also.
Right? Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
So, and it's interesting too. You had started out in Amway. I started out in the other granddaddy of the industry, Shaklee.
Oh man, love Shaklee. Been around Shaklee. I'm a big fan of Shaklee, believe it or not. I don't know the comp plan, but I love their products. I took their products for years. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, we're talking about this, and as you're speaking about some of your experiences and the companies and the people, it starts kind of sparking memories in me. I'm one of those people, once I've left a company or a job or whatever, it's like, well, that's in the past. I've probably acquired some skills and abilities doing it, but I just, that becomes useless information. Like my brain has X amount of capacity and I've got to let some things go so the new information that's relevant now sticks, right?
Yeah. I totally get it. I'm the same way. Yes.
So there are a lot of things I just don't remember, but I do remember with Shaklee. Obviously, I was kind of captured by the dream, but the group I got involved with, and I don't even remember what they were called, or I can picture the couple that was kind of at the top, but I, for the life of me, can't come up with their names either. But they tended to be very product focused. And Shaklee had a ton of different products, all kind of around the health and wellness industry. Yeah. And I was like 20-ish at the time. And I'm like, I don't care about these old people problems and fiber and, all this all this other stuff that was going on. So I got frustrated with it and moved on. And I'm sure there were things in between, but the other one that came to mind is we've talked in several episodes about Richard Kahl and the rapid way he built a business and how he just like pedal to the metal went with it. So did you know I actually got engaged with a company that Richard Kahl was part of the executive team?
Oh my gosh, what a small world.
Yes, and it was the company, it engaged me because career-wise, I was working in the information technology industry, and it was a company called Hello World, and their product was basically video messaging, which was super cool. So it appealed to me from a technology perspective, like even the name of the company, Hello World, and a lot of people don't necessarily know this, but when you take a programming course, it's Hello World is kind of like that first thing that you do to make sure a program's working. It just comes back and spits out like Hello World. So it was very computer centric. Richard Kahl was involved. Obviously, his background and history in the industry and his level of success was super attractive. But it was one of those where just the product, that video messaging that they were marketing just wasn't a good fit for network marketing, right? Because here we are today on Facebook, YouTube, you've got Skype, you've got Zoom, you've got all these other abilities. I mean, they're almost becoming utilities, right? Products that are out there that just are done so much better. It just didn't work with that model. So, and I don't remember how long they stayed around. I mean, it became clear to me pretty quickly that it's like, oh, this one's not going to stick either. But for me, I think when I think about the good, the bad, and the ugly in the industry, it's more around the experiences and the growth that I've had and the people that I've encountered. So one of the things for me that I really put in the good category, and you touched on this a little bit, is the mentorship. You had that person that went to you and said, hey, Rob, you need to look at this situation. You need to get out of that company. They're not going to last. It's having somebody with experience and expertise that can help you look at your situation objectively, because no matter how much we try to step back and look at our situation objectively, we're sometimes too much in it, right? Like we lose the forest for the trees. We're like right up against it, looking at the grooves in the tree bark and not understanding that, the edge of the forest is on fire and you better get out of there.
Exactly. Well put.
So, just the coaching, the mentorship, the people that I've encountered that have helped me grow professionally, personally, the encouragement that I've received in terms of leadership style and skills, speaking skills, the ability to, stand up on stage in front of a large group of people and not, just fall into a bawling puddle of mess because it's so stressful. It's those types of things. And just the individuals that I've met along the way, the quality people, and just the different areas that kind of tangentially come off of the network marketing industry.
Mm-hmm.
These are success-minded people, business-minded people, especially those that are looking at using network marketing as a wealth-building tool. They're engaged in so many things. So, you have them in real estate, you have them at car dealerships. I mean, it's just crazy to me. And the networking of network marketing, that people connecting thing has always been fun for me. I mean, I love putting people together. You get into a conversation and somebody's like, yeah, I'm getting ready to launch this business. I need to find a really good accountant type of thing. Yeah. It's like, hey, you know what? I happen to know somebody that you should get to know because I think it would be a good fit.
Right.
For me, that's what do you do for fun? I connect people. That's fun.
Yeah, exactly. And Miss Marie, we ought to do a future episode on, do you have to build can you build a large business in today's environment? Here's why I say that. And it's not to interrupt you. I'm bringing it up while I'm still got it in my head here. The reason is because there's no real new products in network marketing. You and I lightly touched on this in prior episodes, but here's what we're saying, folks. Just about every product's been tried in network marketing. And it's not to get off subject or interrupt what she's saying. What you have to understand is that there's cornerstone products, just like there's cornerstone steps you can take to make this business work. Okay. I talked to somebody the other day who's with a new company, and the company has, guess what, Miss Marie? We touched on this lightly the other day. They have skincare, nutrition, etc. That's great. Guys, it doesn't matter. Without getting into this, without stealing the future show at this moment, which I'm not going to do, and I'm not going to get deep into this, guys, this person's doing very well. Why? Because the product is not your product. We've talked about that. Okay? You have a new company, and there's only so many ways you can design a comp plan and keep it legal. So it's not like there's a revolutionary comp plan here in this new company. So why is this individual having so much success? They get 384 people or something like that in their business. Well, it's because of the fact they understand how to do what? To sell the dream. They're not selling the product. When we talked the other day, guess what? We just lightly glazed over the product. And then guess what they were doing? They were tapping into my knowledge. Okay. We know each other. So they called me. Right. And we talked. Now, the point is that they get it. This is their first network marketing company opportunity, but they get it. Okay. And they're not afraid of sales. I'm not saying they're a salesperson. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they understand that you got to sell the dream. But the dream has to be real, because you can't sell a false hope. Then you're lying and you're being a cheat and you're doing unethical things and you open yourself up to lawsuits. Okay. But you have to be able to verbalize the opportunity.
Oh, did Rob get frozen up there? This is always the tricky bit when we're live and streaming and somebody freezes up. I'm never sure which one of us it is, because there have been times where I felt like he was freezing up and it was actually me. But I think we may be having Rob disconnect here for a moment. But basically, just to recap what he's saying is you're not selling the product, you're selling the dream. You are selling the ability to achieve those income goals, those time freedom goals, those lifestyle goals that people have, and how the network marketing business is actually the tool that you're using to get to those dreams. It's the wealth building opportunity to achieve those types of dreams. So just to go back to what I was talking about in terms of the mentorship and the positive connections that come out of the network marketing industry, there's also the bad aspect of that too, in that there are relationships that can go sour because of a network marketing business. Sometimes you'll have people come into your business with unrealistic expectations, and when they're not reaching that level of success, or they've come in believing they don't have to do the work that's required, they don't have to do those consistent and correct business building activities, and treat it as a business, like they're buying into that snake oil salesman aspect of thinking you can just get your position and it's magically going to happen for you and you don't have to put in the effort. They get frustrated. So that's why integrity is so important in this business, and presenting the true aspect of the fact that this is a business. It requires work. It doesn't matter what type of business you go into. And we've talked about this before, whether it's a franchise restaurant or you're starting a manufacturing facility, there is work that has to be done. You can't shortchange that at all. So sometimes those relationships can go bad, and oftentimes it comes out of that aspect that's been around since the dawn of the industry. And that's where you're told to make your list of 100 people, be recruiting your friends and family. Well, oftentimes these are people that aren't even necessarily business minded or have an entrepreneurial mindset. They're not looking to have a business. They're just looking for the income. Like, they may get caught up in the dream aspect of it, be impressed by the potential for the income that comes from it, but really don't grasp and aren't willing to grow into that business building aspect and do it well. They just end up kind of perpetuating the same thing. They're going after their friends and family, and they don't understand the importance of that scale of ambition again, because these folks may not have the business building ambition. They may not be the 7 or 8 levels. They're more like the 4 or 5s. Yeah, they'd love to have the income. They'd love to have the lifestyle. They would love to have that time freedom, but they don't understand the work that needs to go into it. And if you just get into that cycle of pursuing friends and family, that's just not going to work well. And it can create relational stress. And that is, it's a both bad and ugly side of the business, is that sometimes you put relationships in jeopardy. And also within that, I would also go back to another subject that Rob touched on when he was speaking about his military experience and moving into more of a leadership role. So as you grow and you become more of a leader and your focus starts to change, kind of that circle of friends you may have starts to shift a little bit. The folks that you're relating with may no longer be relating to you the same way. They start looking at you as moving into this leadership position, and all of a sudden, ooh, you're too good for us. But that's not the case. It's just your focus has become in a different direction. There's a theory out there that says you're kind of the sum of the 5 closest people in your circle. So depending on their level of success, they're either pulling you up along with them and you're growing, or they're potentially pulling you down. If they're just not engaging, they tend to be lazy. They're spending their time watching television, mainstream media, whatever, and they just want to get caught up in the gossip of the world rather than doing the business building things, having a positive impact, looking to do the growth. So those are some aspects for me that really borderline in that both the bad and the ugly categories of network marketing. And look, Rob's back.
Yes, Luke pulled the cord out of the wall.
Oh no. Well, I always hesitate for a moment when something like that happens, because I know in the past it's appeared as if you've frozen, and it ends up being an issue on my end, and I never know which one it is. So it's kind of like, oh, is he actually frozen, or are we good? And of course, as I say that, it looks like Rob's frozen again. Oh my goodness, our Freelance Friday is just falling apart here. Oh, now he's back.
Yeah. The internet, as you know, we have trouble with this end for some reason lately, but the internet then quit. I had to go to the laptop. Everything, I think it was going great, and all of a sudden, bam, here we are fighting the demons again.
Well, you know what? As I recall, and maybe I'm misremembering at this point, I think we got through most of this week pretty well.
We did.
So at least it's just coming on the tail end a little bit here. So
yeah, exactly. In the last 15 minutes of the last day, and Luke was, you know what? He got up. They're right at my feet, and they're underneath the desk. One on the left, one on the right. Luke got up to stretch, and when he did, he hit the power cord. And I did not realize he's never done that before. So obviously I might have to correct that situation. So, and this time I don't know why the internet just decided to, who knows? Anyway, but yeah, I'm sorry that I missed your good and bad and the ugly, but I'm sure it was just as entertaining and informative as mine was. And hopefully people can glean some information out of these stories and these journeys. And if they get anything out of it, is that you and I didn't quit. We said, you know what, this really sucks, but we didn't quit. And the thing is that eventually you catch that one company that can turn everything around. And you won't run into that one company, Miss Marie, if you quit. If you allow one bad episode to make you go in the corner and suck your thumb. Okay. And I would say that most of the people that I'm aware of, once they got the network marketing bug, it's kind of stuck with them. Even if they stepped away for a while, they know deep down, hey, that business model works. I can do that. And the reason they quit and they get frustrated because they don't have the right training, they don't have the right knowledge, and they don't know what to do. Miss Marie, as you know, we always tell people, look, you got to look in the mirror. That's where it starts. That's where it stops. And, we're always telling people, you and I rarely talk about their sponsor or their upline leadership. Well, there's a good reason, folks, that we don't do that. Because once again, it all depends on who's looking in the mirror. And that's you. And the only thing you're lacking is the knowledge. Well, we're providing that. You'll get your own experience, which will be totally independent and different than ours. And even if you go through the same things, your experiences are going to be different. Everybody's is. It's like a fingerprint. Everybody's is different. Marie's experiences, although they're similar, we were both with the same company, Agile, she has different stories about Agile. She had different experiences, different emotions. Okay? And the point is that you're going to have the same as well. You have to create your own story. And the only way that happens is by you not quitting. And you know what, Miss Marie, I think the information that we provide gives people pause, but also motivation, because they can listen to us if they'll take the time, and they'll say they'll learn a lot from it. And if they learn anything, it'll be, hey, these guys aren't quitters. These guys are very smart. These guys are providing outstanding information. I can use this information to my benefit. And there again, it's the reason why we do it. But the thing is, it all goes back to them. They have to take that first step, and then they have to take that last step, which is more important than sometimes taking that first step. And only you determine, guys, when that last step happens. Miss Marie had her last step. I had mine. Okay. And once again, I'm sure those last steps were different and for different reasons. But we both had our last step. Right, Miss Marie?
Well, not quite.
Well, I did not know that, but that's okay. I'm not, I don't, that's something you and I never discussed, and it doesn't matter. But
Yep.
the bottom line is you have a last step as well, and it's coming. And you'll take that last step for whatever reason you deem is important, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's kind of interesting. I've always compared your first experience in network marketing almost to like going on a blind date, because you really don't know what you're getting into until you're in it.
Right.
And there's nothing sadder, in my opinion, than the folks who got involved in a network marketing company. And again, it's often through friends and family. They don't understand the business. They don't understand how things work. And they have that bad experience, and then they swear off it. But at the same time, in the back of their mind, it's like that income dream, that lifestyle dream, that time freedom, it just sits there and gnaws. But when you talk to them, it's like, oh no, I had a bad experience, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, are you married by chance? Because, you know, most people I talk to are, and they're like, yes. And I was like, so you didn't quit after that first date went bad, did you? I mean, you know, you have to find that right connection, the right company, the right compensation plan, the right business building tools and plan. And that's where our 5 simple steps come into play, right?
That's right.
You need that system that you can follow, that's duplicatable, that's going to work. So that's why I think there are a large number of people out there that kind of cycle in and out, because they'll come in, they'll have an experience, they'll catch the vision, they'll see the dream, but the actual experience doesn't move them in that direction. So they back off.
Yeah.
And there's a certain level of fear. And I think that's one of the things we're really trying to address here and provide to people, is that ability to say, look, here's a proven system. It's worked for years. That, you know, you do the scale of ambition, the threshold of profitability, the 5 simple steps, the music to the ears message, all those things. You can be successful as long as you're willing to do those consistent, correct business building activities, right?
I know it is. Yeah. And, you know, we keep saying that, but it's so true, Miss Marie. And when I hear ourselves talk about it, it kind of motivates me a little bit, you know, because, you know, I realize how simple those steps are to do. Really, the 2 biggest challenges in those 5 simple steps is the constant source of leads.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And mastering the music to the ears message. Those are the 2 biggest challenges. And they're really not that big a challenge, because, I mean, you and I grew up in this industry when getting leads was very, very hard work.
Yep.
It did not come easy. But our desire overcame the fear and the challenges that getting leads presented to us. And, you know, even today, the basics haven't changed. Miss Marie, you know as well as I do, as you look back over your career, recruiting is a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and here's the numbers, guys. It's the 20-80 rule. In other words, if you talk to 10 people, typically you're going to get 2. Well, betting 20% in this industry can make you wealthy. Okay. And the analogy is, look at baseball players that are in the 280, 275 range. They're multimillionaires. If you bet over 300, then you're really a special star. And if you do 400, you're an anomaly. I mean, that is rarefied air, and rightfully so. Okay. Well, it's no different here. Okay. And you can go through 20 people, Miss Marie, or you can go through your first 10 people and not sign anybody up. And you say, well, that 20-80 rule sucks. No, because Miss Marie, there's a learning curve, and people forget that. And they think, no, if I just do what they tell me to do, and people just fall at my feet and say, please sign me up. Well, that doesn't happen. You know, and then all of a sudden you can go through another 10 for a total of, in other words, you're going to end up talking to 20 total people, and all of a sudden you'll sign up 3 or 4. Okay. Well, there's that 1/3 thing happening. Okay. And the point is that in your first 10, nobody took action. In your second 10, because you got better and you talked to a higher quality person, because most people are scared to talk to quote unquote successful people. As your confidence in yourself and in the system grows, so does your ability to talk to higher quality people. So Miss Marie, what ends up happening is the numbers start working. Well, the only way the numbers work in this scenario is that you talk to another 10 for a total of 20. And all of a sudden, because you talked to a different type of person and you were more confident, you got 2 or 3 people to join you because you knew what to say, you knew how to say the message, you delivered it in a confident, concise way, and people were impressed with that. They say, okay, I trust you. You seem like you know what you're doing. Let's do this thing, okay? And so because you work the numbers start working for you. And the thing is, you have to have that knowledge in order to avoid some of the things that we have gone through. You're not going to be able to guarantee that a company is not going to go out of business. Everybody's vulnerable to that. That's just the nature of the beast. But the thing is, Miss Marie, we talked about earlier in the new subject matter, guys, it doesn't matter if a company's moving toothpicks. Okay, now I'm being silly here on one hand, but not on another. And it's just a teaching moment here. Look, a company can sell toothpicks. There's very little profit margin, obviously, in toothpicks. Okay, people are not, in other words, Marie and I, as distributors, are not going to go and spend a lot of money on a monthly basis on auto ship ordering toothpicks. Because Marie and I can only use so many toothpicks in a month, right? So it's really kind of a silly example, but I want to show you that it doesn't matter what the product is. What your real product is the lifestyle, the money. And you've got to learn with the Music to the Ears message to deliver that message and paint a mental picture of that end item, which is what? The lifestyle, the money. And that the product is a tool that you use to get to that end item. Okay? So the reason I bring it up, Ms. Marie, we just talked about a moment ago, talking about can you really build a large business in today's network marketing environment, considering all the products that have been used in by various companies. There's just not many products that have not been utilized by the network marketing industry, right? There's new companies, chewing gum, that's special, gas pills. I mean, we could go on and on. Silly examples. I'm surprised they haven't tried to sell exotic animals. They may have, and I just don't know. But you get my point.
Yep.
So that'll be an interesting episode as we close this one out, for people to understand that, yes, you can, in today's environment, we told our personal stories, and you might be impressed with, what we went through and the companies we were with. But guys, it doesn't matter. I could come back to the industry today, pick the right company with the right comp plan, and look at the products. And I'll be honest with you, Miss Marie, if I was going to do it, I would look for a company that had what? The cornerstone products, the skincare, the nutrition, the juices, because I know I can get behind those products. I know they're safe. I know they work. People will use them. That's the key. People will use makeup. People will take the juice or drink the juice. People will take the nutritional pill. Okay, I can get behind that. What's left for me to really finalize is how much money is that comp plan going to pay me? All right. And if it's going to reward my efforts and my downline's efforts and commitment, I don't care if it is 2020 in a crazy upside down world. I would do it. Okay. Because the only thing that's left is for me to apply my knowledge and my hard work. That's it. That's all that's left. So there you go.
Well, I think this was a pretty fun Freelance Friday, even with a little disruptive festivity over there with the internet. But
I told Luke to do it, so it add a little excitement to the episode.
Awesome.
He's a good one. He listened.
Exactly.
All right.
That's terrific.
Well, let's get off of here and let everybody start the weekend. And let's see here. I am looking for our banners. Because I came back in, it's totally different. You may have to take this over because I don't see anything.
Uh-oh.
Well, wait a minute. No, here we go. There we go.
Awesome. You got it. Very good. Well, as always, if you will please like, comment, and share on our various social media platforms, we appreciate that. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can register for notifications there by clicking on that bell. That'll let you know when we're going live and when there's new material available for you to review. And of course, be sure to share it with our fellow network marketers around the world, especially those you're working with in your downline, because again, it's all about duplication. If you're finding value in this information, you know your organization will as well. And it's always good to have everyone on the same page. So always give us a thumbs up if you like what you're hearing and you're understanding the points we're making. You can find us on all the social media platforms by searching the hashtag #TheMLMSolution. That's hashtag #TheMLMSolution. And then, of course, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Tremendous amount of material on there. As we've mentioned earlier in this broadcast, Rob's been working on this hard, long, one-handed even. But we've got some great material there that boils this all down and gives it to you in a very concise format. So go check that out, themlmsolution.net.
Yep. All right. Well, that being said, guys, remember Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always, God willing. I'm going to start saying that because after last week, I realize how delicate that can be. So with that being said, everybody have a great weekend, a safe weekend. We'll see you Monday. God bless everybody. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.